Montreal won the toss. Deferred. BC decided to take the ball here at home. And Cote will get us started to wrap up the week on a gorgeous, gorgeous Sunday afternoon in Vancouver. Low, hard driving kick. That'll be taken at the 5 and brought back to the 20. Trying to find some blockers and escape up to about the 35 for Williams. And we'll get our first look today at a guy that's been talked about all week, Vernon Adams Jr.
Completing 70% of his passes for over 1,200 yards. Mentioned heading into the week, leading all quarterbacks in the yards category and very high passing grade as well. Now he's got to bounce back from the 6 picks. We'll see how he looks right out of the gate. He's got a lot of talent around him. That receiving core together for the first time this season.
Rhymes, Hatcher, Whitehead all in a game for the first time this year. In their absence, Justin McInnes and Alexander Holland have been excellent as well. So he's been able to connect all his weapons waiting for him there today. He's thrown touchdowns in 8 straight starts. Takes the ball here, some pressure up the middle, gets it away down the field at the feet of Lucky Whitehead. He was not able to haul it in. And we mentioned Lucky Whitehead there. Let's take a look at this BC offense.
Well, I didn't highlight any one of the offensive linemen up front because they've all played together for all of the 4 games this season. That's the good news for Jordan Maximic and for Vernon Adams. And there's the newcomers to the lineup. Well, newcomers, familiar faces. Lucky Whitehead back. He missed the last couple of weeks. And Sean Shivers will play for Taquan Mizell at tailback.
Shivers wearing 28, standing into the left of Vernon Adams here on a 2nd and 10 from the 35. Adams with time again, and that's intercepted. Not the start that he was looking for. It's going to be taken all the way back. A 45-yard pick 6 for Marc-Antoine Dequoy, and the Alouettes strike first.
The flag down right at the midfield stripe here, and
illegal contact. Montreal number 24. 10-yard penalty. Result will be a first down.
That changes things, doesn't it? And it was Dequoy who gets called on the flag, and you see him say, ah.
Well, it changes a lot of things. First of all, it's a huge breath for Vernon Adams and a sigh of relief after coming out of the gate off the 6 picks, which he's, of course, been asked about all week long. Boy, that wasn't much from Dequoy. Was contact.
Very little.
Can't challenge it now.
Now they'll get it into the hands of Shivers. And he goes to the far side of the field, picks up about 3 or 4 yards on the play.
Let's go back and take another look, because that was minimal contact. Now, you can't disrupt or reroute a receiver past 5 yards. That's a new rule as of a couple of years ago. Here, he's right over here to the right of your screen. And it's going to be Dominic Rhymes running a little curl here. He gives him a little push. Boy, that's minimal. Take a play like that off the board.
2nd and 6 for Adams. Far side, and that one hauled in. Excellent job by Hatcher. Pretty good coverage on the play, but Keon Hatcher, who had 8 catches in his return to the lineup last week, gets 10 yards here.
That's a big throw for Vernon Adams. After the pick that was taken back, he's got a second chance in this game to just flush that one now, but this is going to help. I mean, this is a deep out with coverage around him. Put it there.
Guns one in, and that is held on to by Cotoy. Caught all 12 passes thrown his direction this season.
Highlighted Amondo Sewell in the middle of that defensive line. 154 games he has started in the Canadian Football League. 9 years with Edmonton, 3 with Montreal. Avery Williams did not play in the loss last week. And Marc-Antoine Dequoy, I believe, maybe the best safety in the league. We always seen a big play from him.
Pressure on Adams. This time he's going to take off. Has some room down inside the 30. Tracked down by Dequoy from behind, but not before he gets all the way down to the Montreal 21. A 23-yard scamper for number 3 in orange and black.
Yeah, he took that. He's taken this opportunity and that second chance after the penalty, and now he's making the best of it and just locking in. A couple of good throws, and now he sees the opening to his left, and away it goes. It's him and the safety. That's it. Dequoy saves, catches him from behind.
1st and 10 from the Montreal 22 for the BC Lions. Adams, near side. That will be complete. Barreling ahead and eventually pushed out of bounds. Second catch of this drive for Javon Cotoy.
You get the feeling that there's not many DBs that really want to tackle Javon Cotoy.
Hoping he steps out of bounds along the sideline.
He's like a tight end. I had a good conversation, and as you were on that call as well, Dustin, with Rick Campbell talking about Cotoy, and he's like the tight end type of guy down south. 6'5", 240 pounds, and can run.
Whitehead, Hatcher, Rhymes all out to the left here for Adams. That's where he looks. Going down and getting it is Lucky Whitehead. Stopped just shy of the end zone. They're going to mark him down at the Montreal 1.
Just checking to see if he did get his hands underneath. Looked like he did.
Vernon Adams pushing ahead. Good stop by Montreal. They bust right through the line with an early denial in this football game.
Stoffa Johnson right in the middle, right playing right beside Armando Sewell, and he just shoots through the gap. It looked like between guard and center. And Vernon Adams didn't get a chance to even get any momentum forward. Pushed him back a half yard.
Davis in at quarterback. Davis to the right, walks it to the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, BC Lions. Dom Davis gets it done, his second touchdown of the season. And BC breaks through first.
Just amazing start to this game. All the talk and all the questions that Vernon Adams has to answer all week long after throwing the 6 interceptions out in Toronto, and then he comes back here and throws pick 6 that he gets a reprieve from. Another chance due to the penalty. Minimal contact by Dequoy, but they did call it. And he gets another chance and drives it down for the score.
Even though it was called back, still the mindset of Vernon Adams after throwing the interception. And this was a big drive for him to follow.
Wow, just so important for him.
Sean White tacks on one more, and the BC Lions avoid an early disaster. Regroup, march the field, and finished off right here by Dom Davis. Lions on top 7-0. 28th career touchdown for Dom Davis. And now Flintoff boots this away. That'll be taken by Worthy at the 15. Worthy waiting, trying to find a little bit of space. Truck down from behind. But a 25-yard return takes Montreal out to the 40 for Cody Fajardo.
Cody Fajardo sitting at 69.4% completion percentage, 2 touchdowns, both in the Hamilton game. Started the season with 2 wins, 1 against Ottawa, 1 against Hamilton, and then the first loss, as you mentioned off the top, Dustin, was against Winnipeg. Defense still only allowed 17 points in that game.
They have not allowed over 17 points yet this season. Unfortunately, in that game against Winnipeg, they only scored the 3, a fourth-quarter field goal. Now here's Fajardo. He'll hand it off, not a bad idea, and lowering the boom, moving that pack forward 9 yards for William Stanback.
Well, look at their offensive line. They've got the veteran there to keep things together. He's played all 3 games in Christian Matt, and he's at 137 starts. They found a receiver. I think they found a star receiver out of Ohio State in Austin Mack. Deep threat for Cody Fajardo, who, by the way, with all the criticism about the deep ball last year, is first in the league heading into the week in 30-plus games.
Majority of his throws going in the direction of Austin Mack and Keon Julian Grant. Now here's Fajardo, and he'll string that to the outside to pick up a first down against this BC starting defense.
How about the tear Matthew Betts is on off the edge for the BC Lions? Leads the league with 7 sacks after 4 games. Just incredible start for Betts. They're going to move Quincy Moget down to the linebacking core essentially and put Adrian Green, the 4th-round pick in 22, back at safety. He'll start there. We'll see how many plays he gets at safety.
First and 10 for Montreal on their own 54. Three options out to the right here for Fajardo. Comes on the left side to Mack, and he's wrapped up neatly. Nowhere to go there. Jalen Edwards-Cooper making the play.
Yeah, good tackle by Jalen Edwards-Cooper, but, you know, this is a play that sets up a play later. So Austin Mack runs this little hitch. He gets the DBs closing quickly, and Edwards-Cooper, good tackle. Yeah, BC wins that play, basically, but watch for the pump and go with this guy.
Couple of yards on that pass to Mack. 2nd and 8 now. 4 receivers wide side right for Fajardo. Goes to his running back. Stanback's got a first down, looking for more. Stanback eventually tripped up just inside the 35 as Lacombo forces him out of bounds. But a nice play call from the Alouettes.
Well, they got him in man defense. So Lacombo at the linebacking core, number 20 right here. He's got Stanback out of the backfield, but he gets caught a little bit and he holds that. He takes a little glance to the receiver coming in, and that freezes him so that Stanback can get outside leverage. 23-yard gain. Really nice play design against man defense.
Montreal putting together a nice drive here down to the BC 31. Fajardo moving to his right. On the run, trying to look downfield, and eventually we'll just have to throw this away.
We played against the Lions a ton. Eight games when he was starting quarterback with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And
Defensive holding, BC number 14. 10-yard penalty. Result will be a first down.
Marcus Sales getting called on a defensive hold, so a first down here for the Alouettes.
Work on, I believe it was inside on Julian Grant here. Right at the end, there's a holding as he tries to break back to the middle right there at the top corner of your screen. That one I get.
You like that one?
That was a penalty.
That looked like a penalty.
That was definitely a penalty.
Now they'll get it to Austin Mack. Mack down to the 10, 5 end zone. Is he in? They stop him just short. Wow. Looked like he was there.
Well, it'll be reviewed. Anything around the goal line like this is automatically reviewed.
He looks dangerous though, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, the play design here is outstanding for, I love that. Well, his knee touched
just before that ball broke the plane.
I think the call was correct one. Gets touched there, knees down. Now, that was very close. They're going to review it. I think they're saying it was just on the 1-yard line.
Cody Fajardo fantasy owners, though, are loving this. He's going to vulture a TD here if he can punch one in. First and goal for the one. Fajardo crushes through. And Montreal is on the board. Both teams moving the ball extremely well here in the first quarter.
Well, this is just a real nice play design. You know, you go back to that William Stanback play. That was a great one, and that one to Mack to get him down to this point where Fajardo just goes off the right side of that line. And you know who's on the right side? Christian Matt.
Follow him through.
Follow the veteran.
Been doing it for over a decade.
As your offensive coordinator and quarterback coach, Anthony Calvillo. Of course, recognized by all Montreal football fans.
Cote locks this thing up at 7 apiece midway through the first quarter. Cody Fajardo's 3rd rushing touchdown of the season in response to BC taking an early lead here in Vancouver.
Every game a different journey, and we're seeing a good start by the offenses after Duquois' pick 6 taken off the board.
This will be taken just outside the 15. Look at that effort. Mackey goes up and over. The first Alouette down the field picks up an extra 10 yards with a hurdle along the sidelines. Lindley thought he had him. Nope.
You bets. Again, play design. Get their athlete on the edge.
So BC will get the ball back, and they'll look to answer back once again. And this will be taken out to the 40, about 3-4 yards on that first down carry for Sean Shivers.
Interesting story there. He's in for Mizell. Mizell a little banged up. Grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and Shivers played 4 years at Auburn and then transferred to Indiana for a season. He's a little firecracker. Yeah,
5'7", but a $190. 2nd and 6 here from the BC 41. Adams with pressure right in his face, trying to escape. He will not. Taken down at the 35 by a gang of Alouettes. 3 or 4 of them getting up and off of him there.
Yeah, getting the linebackers involved here because they're going to go in one direction this way and then bring, I believe it was Beverett the opposite direction, and then he loops around and then gets right in the face of Vernon Adams.
Flintoff just gets this one away. Towering kick. Worthy takes it at the 20. There's a flag as he caught it. Now Worthy trying to reverse the field and find some space. Chandler Worthy up to the 50, trying to get around Flintoff. And Flintoff trips him up at midfield. This one may be coming back anyway with a yellow flag laying on the 31-yard line.
Flag was real early.
During the return, holding. Montreal number 1. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It almost came out before he even caught the ball, didn't it? It was right at that moment.
Yeah, I heard you, Mayala is like trying to make his case here. I'll tell you what, you got if you're on the punt return team on any team in our league, with the returners and the quality of guys that are returning the football,
Don't take a penalty.
do not take a penalty in the kicking game.
And also, I would like to make a plea to everybody to not throw these flags, because I love calling return touchdowns. It actually infuriates me when they bring one of these things back. Here's Fajardo now starting on his own 10. Gets it to Mack. Good job to hang on there. Sales was all over him the entire way. Back to the line of scrimmage and really no further.
We talked about how Fajardo played against BC a ton when he's in Saskatchewan, of course, in the West Division. So you play 2 or 3 times against your division, and it's a nice 6-2 record against the Lions. But it has been a tough win here in Vancouver for the Montreal Alouettes as a team in general.
Just 2 wins for Montreal here in BC since 2000. Fajardo has a completion, rumbling ahead and pushing their way over the 20 for a first down is James Tuck as he gets his fullback involved in the offense.
Yeah, the last win for Montreal here in BC Place was 2015. It was August. Rakeem Cody was the starting quarterback in Montreal, and Ryan Phillips, who is now the defensive coordinator for the BC Lions, had a pick 6 in that game.
And he's been the defensive coordinator for quite some time now for the BC Lions.
Yes, he has. That's how long it's been.
Fajardo gets this one away just in time. Julian Grant has it. Nice footwork. Finds the 30. And you know what? Great extra effort there, and that's going to be enough for a first down. Almost 11 yards on the play.
Yeah, Julian Grant's looked good. I mean, this guy is, well, first of all, he's leading all Canadian receivers in the CFL. But, you know, I mean, forget about pass scores. This is just a great athlete making plays, and he's playing with tremendous confidence. Usually about that second year, third year is when it really clicks in for you. And Julian Grant is sitting at year 4 now with Montreal, all with the same team, and has a chance to really do a lot of damage against defenses this year.
13th overall pick back in 2019. Stanback trying to work that spin. Might have got himself a little bit of extra yardage, but well read by the BC Lions.
Yeah, and there was a little bit of execution issues there for that in that offensive play, because it looked like Julian Grant, who was leading the charge there, looked back as if he was going to catch a pass, but Ryan Phillips, just shy of 50 interceptions in his career, had a pick 6. Now, Montreal won that game, so that's probably all he'll remember and tell you about. But this defense going into Toronto last week was allowing just 7 points a game in their first 3. 7 in the CFL.
That's pretty impressive.
3-game run. That's pretty impressive.
Fajardo in trouble. Look who it is. The great season continues as Matthew Betts gets home. That is 8 sacks in 5 games for Betts.
He is on a tear, and this guy has got more tools in the toolbox every single snap, it seems. He's going to go with quickness off on his get off. He uses his hands here to knock the hands down there of Callender, and good on the inside move for Betts. Number 8 on the season.
What a year he is having.
In 4.5 games, he's having a year.
This kick is up. And it eventually comes down. 44-yard kick. Williams will bring it back to midfield. Couple of flags. So that's 2 different spots on the field. We see flags on that kick. Cody Fajardo, the 16th time he's been sacked this season. Betts gets home for an 8th time.
Makes his mistakes, he'll admit it to the players if that happens. He's very authentic, and he says when you're not fake, it's so much easier for players to buy in. And for Phillips, he says the biggest challenge I had was making sure they knew I wasn't a player anymore. I'm a coach. They believe, and the culture's a pretty good one on that side of the ball, guys.
Well, and he seems like one heck of a coach as well.
Well, I'll add one other thing, and I think this is Rick Campbell and Ryan Phillips both understanding the game and the nuance of the game, and one of them is the Canadian ratio, and they have both leaned into it. They don't look at passports. Matthew Betts is their best defensive end. He happens to be Canadian, but to them, it doesn't matter. They're going to play their best players. Ben Haladek's been outstanding in the middle out of UBC. You know, they are leaning into that Canadian contact.
2nd and 8 for BC from their own 33. Adams gets it to his running back, and he's unable to escape for a first down as Shivers gets involved in the passing game here as well. And that'll bring up 3rd down at the end of the first quarter. Teams exchange touchdowns, and we are tied at 7 at BC Place to wrap up Week 5 the CFL schedule. Really a pretty evenly matched first quarter, I thought.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to that Mark Dequoy interception, and you know I really thought that was minimal contact. Plays made, and it's behind us now. We've got a good football game. 2 good drives. One by after the interception was called back. One by Adams to get his confidence back. Very important for the Lions and their offense, and for Montreal. That was a great and innovative drive. The play calling between Jason Moss, Anthony Calvillo, and Cody Fajardo for the touchdown. Now there'll be adjustments made. We talked about Ryan Phillips, and his reputation as one of the top defensive coordinators in the league continues to grow, and he'll make some adjustments against what they saw in that drive.
That is kicked away. Worthy slides over to his left, down to his knees, bounces back up, and takes it just shy of the 30 after a 51-yard kick.
Illegal block. Montreal number 1. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Mayala again, who was called on the last kick as well. I'm going to get that out of the repertoire here early, I would think.
There is the pace that Matthew Betts is on for the BC Lions. That sack in the first quarter, his 8th. 28-year-old out of Laval University.
Fajardo hands it off, stopped immediately. No chance. Quincy Moget had moved down and was all over Stanback the moment he got that ball.
Bringing it up again with a Canadian ratio, and I asked Matthew Betts about it, and he said, yeah, our guys don't really look at passports, and I'm not even really thinking of it. What I'm doing is trying to be the best rush end I can possibly be and add to my game every single time. The last Canadian, though, to lead the league was Brent Johnson, the BC Lions.
We got to go back quite a ways for that. Fajardo trying to escape, not going to happen. Lions gobble him up again. Might have got some positive yardage on the play before he got tackled, so it won't go down as a sack. But there's that smothering BC defense.
Yeah, and to go back and just show you, if you don't remember Brent Johnson, he was one of the guys that I think opened up a lot of eyes for American coaches, American defensive coaches in the league, when Brent led the league in rushing in 2006 with 16 sacks on the season. And all of a sudden, you could play a Canadian at rush end.
Williams slides under this at the Montreal 50, a 40-yard kick, and he gets it back to about the 45, and that's it.
Give you a little glimpse of the great rush ends in the BC Lions history, and they've had some good ones. Quick Parker was one of them, and Brent Johnson getting it done back in 2006. I mentioned 16 sacks, and I think he was one of those guys, the game changers, like Darryl Hall and the tweener linebacker. That was not a position that American coaches felt that a Canadian could play. And then Brent Johnson came along and they went, wait a minute, we can look at these guys.
They can play. Lots of talk about Betts, Edmonton fans probably turning it off. He was drafted 3rd overall there 2 years and they moved on from him. And now he leads the league in sacks. There's a completion from Vernon Adams as he gets it to Keon Hatcher.
Yeah, he threw him open there. Hatcher wanted to run the curl outside and then kind of fade toward the sideline, and the defender was behind him. Hatcher's that 3rd receiver on the trips formation. And watch him, he wants to curl out and slide to the outside there, and then watch him throw him open back into that inside shoulder. 14
yards to Hatcher. Now he'll be taken on the ground just inside the 25 by Shivers.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a guy that, you know, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's going to be fine. He's a little guy, but again, BC Lions history, they've seen a few of those guys. John Henry White, Larry Key back in those days in the 80s, and prior to that in the 70s even. Small backs. The question you have with an undersized tailback is in pass protection.
Adams, with a ton of time, goes up high and it's hauled in. 3rd catch of the game for Cotoy. Used all of his height on that one.
All of his height and strength. It's a tight window, and Vernon Adams gets great protection so he can scan the field. He had his back out of the backfield early, but that got covered down, and that's just a big catch in traffic.
36 yards already in this game for Cotoy.
For the closest we come to a tight end in the Canadian Football League, right there.
He's been throwing the ball 14 times this year. He's caught every single one of them. Every single one of them. 14 for 14. Second trip to the red zone for BC tonight. Adams looks to his left, throws to the end zone. Hatcher, no! Got one hand on it. Could not haul it in. Deontay Ruffin in coverage.
Because of the positioning of Ruffin, and it's good positioning, because this is a tough one on with Hatcher getting him basically stemmed to a straight up position. In other words, he can go either direction. He closes quickly, and Vernon Adams had to throw it outside or that had a chance of being picked. Just a little too far for Hatcher.
So another crack at it for the BC Lions. Alexander Hollins checks back into this ball game as well. He's been excellent so far this season. 3 receivers, wide side left for VA. Adams, time in the pocket again. Lucky Whitehead has it. Going to be short of the end zone by a few yards, and that'll bring up a 3rd down for the BC Lions. But you're knocking on the door here.
And I was going to say, where is that front marker for the 1st down? Can they get a 1st down in a 1-yard gain and a new set on the 1-yard line?
I believe they can.
It looks like from here the 1st down marker is at the 2, so they can get to the 1 on a quarterback sneak or whatever they try here.
Adams does line up in the shotgun. Shivers right in behind him. Brennan Adams on third down. Gives it to his running back, pushing ahead, and he's in. Touchdown, BC! Welcome to the Canadian Football League, Sean Shivers.
Keep that football for the trophy case for sure. He's got the crowd on their feet, and there's a little bit of the power. Not a big guy at 5'7", 186, but watch him drive these legs. He gets contact in about the 3-yard line and does the rest on his own, and that's a D lineman making that first contact.
And there's a few guys that got hands on him, and he just lowered his shoulders and pushed on home. What a great way for him.
Hanging on to that football, isn't he?
That's not going anywhere.
That's going right in the trophy case. Or maybe, you know, to a family member.
Sean White puts home another single. 14-7, BC leads. Sean Shivers getting an opportunity to make his CFL debut today. And he powers that one home for his first Canadian Football League touchdown. A guy who's next generation running back in the Canadian Football League. Shivers in his debut finding the end zone. Now this is hammered down the field, taken at about the 16 and brought back up the far side by Worthy. Still going, and a nice return to give Montreal good field position for that man, Austin Mack. Over 300 yards receiving coming into the game here in Vancouver.
To Austin Mack. What a great start for a rookie in the CFL.
Mack has their only 2 receiving touchdowns of this season. Here's Julian Grant, who's been targeted a ton himself. Takes a feed from Cody Fajardo, who picks up 3 or 4 yards on first down.
Here's his start to the season statistically. Week 1, 4 for 120. I mean, he's averaging 105 yards a game. I know it's early to do projections and averages and things like that, but that would be close to a 1,900-yard season over 18 games. Just a tremendous start. And a guy who said, you know, when I saw the field and the waggle, I thought, ooh, I like this.
A lot of those guys refer to it as cheating. They just feel like they're cheating. Now here's Fajardo. Far side, another completion. Mayala this time for a first down and takes it into BC territory.
This is the waggle right here. Waggle towards the line of scrimmage. Get the DBs off you. They're going to back up when you get that running start to the line. And Austin Mack said, I am enjoying that waggle. Took a while to get it down, get the timing down and the angles and things like that. But he said, pick that up in camp. Mayala showed him that's how you do it.
Just the 4th catch of the season for Mayala. Now stand back, bumps into Fajardo, and BC hops all over it.
Yeah, the quarterback expects to be hit. If he's playing in the game, he expects to be hit, but not like that, not from behind, not friendly fire. It looked like the eyes of William Stanback were on the defense, and he just didn't see his quarterback. Watch, he runs straight into the back, and Fajardo's going, what? How can somebody be hitting me from back there?
2nd and long for Fajardo. Gets it to Mack, but he's wrapped up and taken down by Lecombo before anything dangerous could happen. And that'll bring up 3rd down for the Alouettes.
Good decision, though. I mean, you know, it's tough to convert 2nd and more than 10, 2nd and plus yards. So get yourself in field goal range, then take the field goal attempt here. And not force it downfield, maybe throw a pick.
Be a 47-yard attempt for Cote, who's 6 of 7 on the year. His long is from 48. It's just shy of that, just inside the left hash to make it a 4-point ball game. That kick is up, and it is right down Main Street as Montreal tacks on 3 more and trailing the BC Lions 14-10. Cote, just 1 miss on the season. Makes no mistake here.
I'm not. I like running between the tackles. I like the hard yards. You saw that on the touchdown. When he played at Auburn, they called him the biggest little guy in the SEC. He believes if he can function well in that league, he can do it anywhere. As for Rick Campbell, he says, I want to see a little ball of hate. That's what I see when I see him out there running with the football. Lucky Whitehead says, when you talk about this kid's gas, he's a 94. Just the best gas available. So I think everyone around here certainly believes that he's got a lot to offer this team despite his stature. He's not afraid to protect, to catch the ball in space, or to lower his shoulder and run people over.
Which was fitting with the way he scored his first CFL touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, when he was at his pro day, I mean, he talked about how he had a great low center of gravity, great power, an excellent burst in the hole, all of those things. The question is in protection.
Slides in there to protect now. Adams gets away. Oh, he's in a lot of trouble here. Spinning a second time. And will eventually throw it away out of bounds.
So just for the record, and I know that Vernon Adams gets flushed here, but let's take a look, because just as we're talking about it, Sean Shivers has to step up and pick up a blitzer. Watch number 28 here step up and pick up a blitzer. Boom! Beverett takes him out of the play. That was his man.
Yeah.
Yeah, pressing. Hey, watch holding him number one. You got two already.
Flintoff standing at his 30, and that is blocked. And it'll be scooped up by Montreal at midfield.
Ball out near the BC.
The Alouettes special teams with a huge play here late in the first half. Lindley was the man who jumped on it just outside the 50.
No yards. BC number 45. That will be a 5-yard penalty because the ball was tipped.
Tipped at the line by this guy. Just a good push right down the middle. That's the best way easiest way to block a kick, is to go straight at it. It's tougher to get it from the edges.
Uwak gets home there. Pretty much pushed his way right through. And what a huge play for Montreal special teams. They had that defensive touchdown taken off the board earlier. Now Cody Fajardo gets the ball back, working from the BC 46, trailing by just 4. Fajardo, tons of room out to his right. He's going to take off. Fajardo down to the 40, to the 30, and that's where he safely steps out of bounds.
You know, back in 2019, and you know, you got to remember that Cody Fajardo led Saskatchewan to back-to-back West Finals. And that big season he had, he was completely healthy, and he looks again completely healthy. So he really is a dual threat guy. I mean, he wants to throw from the pocket first and wait for the defense to dictate for him to take off and run. But that's a nice 17-yard run and puts him in good field position.
Down to the BC 29. Now they'll give it to Stanback. And he's taken down after a pickup of about 2 yards on that first down carry.
Then you work in tandem with Stanback and you run the RPOs. Now I know football fans have heard that a ton. That's called the run pass option. So the quarterback, there's your coordinator, he calls the RPO, and then Cody Fajardo can have the option. Fake it to Stanback and pull it, or he can run it himself, and at times you can throw it off that too.
Here's Fajardo, 2nd and 7. In trouble, taken down again. They barrel home. That time, it's Menard. 2nd sack of the season for David Menard.
Just wonder about the depth of the drop here, and because Menard's coming hard off the edge in that sprinter stance, and the tackle wants to try to drive Menard past Cody Fajardo, and instead he basically blocked him right, because he blocked him right into him.
Cote back out here to make it a 1-point game, and that's blocked. What's happening? It's going to be picked up and brought back the other way. Jalen Edwards-Cooper down to the 20. See you later. He's gone 62 yards to the house, and a swing of momentum back to the BC Lions.
quickest way from point A to point B is right in a straight line down the middle. We saw it on the block punt, and now you're going to see it on a block field goal, which is even harder to execute because the field goal happens so quickly. And the holder and the placement is only 7 yards behind, but it's going to be Woody Barron right down the middle. Here he comes. Hands up.
Couldn't ask for a better bounce. Right into the hands of Edwards Cooper. Blocked punt one end. Now a blocked field goal the other way. 20-10. Sean White looking to make it an 11-point game. Good hold. And White knocks that one all the way through.
Wow. I mean, you think about it. 14, it was going to be a 1-point game.
Yeah.
Now 11-point game.
Huge swing.
Special teams are equally as important as offense and defense in the Canadian Football League, and we see it time and time again, whether it's the big returns. We've already seen 4 of those punt returns for touchdowns already this season. Blocked field goal won the Grey Cup last year, and now we're getting a nice example of what can happen on the special teams.
First CFL touchdown for the cornerback, Jalen Edwards Cooper. Is that a low driving kick? Because Barron wasn't right in front of him. He kind of had just got through the line, right? He got his hands up, made the play.
That is as fun as making the play is for a player. It's almost equally as fun to relive it on the bench with your teammates right after the fact.
Return. This is Tyler Sneed, his first touch in the CFL, and far side of the field, just shy of the 30. It's been an excellent first half of football here in Vancouver. The BC Lions on a blocked field goal touchdown have a comfortable 21-10 lead.
Bad tips.
What's the movie called? Matter of Fact? I think I come up with a better name. Julian Grant. And Keon Julian Grant, nice speed on the far side of the field. And that's a first down, and still 2:45 left here in the half for Montreal to recoup some of these points.
Oh yeah, plenty of time. And you know, offensively, they've been playing well in this first half and gave up the block. That was a 10-point swing. So I'm not sure, like, for adjustments at halftime, Jason Moss has much to say to the offense. Well, maybe to the special teams.
Cody Fajardo is 10 for 10 on the road against a pretty darn good BC Lions defense. 4 options to Fajardo's left here. That's where he's going to throw. That was read well, and Julian Grant had to hang on, or Jalen Edwards Cooper was thinking about tacking on another one.
Okay, it's first half, and that's the second time now that Edwards Cooper has closed this quickly. Do you smell what I'm cooking?
Do you catch him at some point?
Do you smell what I'm cooking here? Because one adjustment for Anthony Calvillo and Jason Moss could be he's closing very quickly on that hit screen. Let me fake one.
2nd and 16 for Fajardo. This 3-man rush dumps it off to Antwi. And Antwi dropped the ball and then picked it back up. Flag on the play on the far side of the field as well.
Sure, what he was trying
Did I see that properly, or did I black out there for a second?
I'm not sure what he was attempting there. I thought for a second the way he was going towards the line with the ball low like that, he might try to kick it, but
that's what I thought he was setting up for.
It looked like he was about to kick it.
He tried to, but he missed it.
Is he fumbling it to himself?
Offside. Montreal number 85. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 3rd down.
If he thought
it looked like he was trying to sort of kick it to himself,
or fumble it in front of him, and then think of it as a change of possession, and he's recovering a fumble, so he doesn't need to get the 15 yards they needed.
No, I don't. I mean, somebody on Twitter will explain this to us right away. But
I don't know. That's not sure what he was thinking there.
Tima's going to kick this away, standing on his own 25. Taken cleanly at the 21 by Hatcher, who gets popped before he could get to the 30. Richards was all over him.
Well, I'm not sure they have to make many adjustments offensively, either of these teams, but on the special teams, they certainly do. There's a block punt, and get these special teams coordinators a block field that turned into a 10-point swing and a touchdown for the Lions. So I'm sure the special teams units were going to be in the corners, and they're going to try and make some adjustments, make sure they have the protections, block first before you cover on field goal or punt, because there are some talented returners in this game. Mike Benavides will be in there gathering them up.
Here's Adams. Wants to go down the field looking for Whitehead, and that is broken up by Dequoy. You say this is a huge possession here. BC could tack on a few more points and open things up before halftime, but great defense there.
Mark Dequoy, to me, is just getting better by the game. I mean, this is year 3 for him, and I've been watching him from a distance because this is my first chance to see him in the booth and be part of the broadcast for a Montreal game. But Adams takes a hit, and that almost went back the other way. He's got tremendous range.
He's all over the field.
Yeah, I mean, they can move him down low too, and rotate a different DB to the middle.
4 interceptions last year for the 14th pick in the 2020 draft, and there's Adams taking some severe punishment. Johnson gets there and hammers him down for his 3rd sack of the season.
Yeah, that was just a good team effort up front. Johnson will get the stat, but Beverette's up there, and they're just going to collapse this pocket really on Vernon Adams. He's trying to step up. He wants to climb it, but good containment by Beverette. That forces him up into it and into the arms of Johnson.
4th 2 and out for the BC Lions here at home in the first half. And they'll kick this away to Worthy, who's standing on his own 37. So good field position coming here. This time they get it away. Looked close again, though, didn't it? Worthy bounces off of his head, scooped up by the Lions. Are you kidding me? The craziness that BC Place continues here in the second quarter.
Boy, be tuned in on the special teams. You better be mentally sharp on the teams. Right now, we're seeing some mistakes. We're seeing both teams take advantage and be ready on the teams. It looks like, I want to say, Worthy lost this. The roof is open here at Save-On Food Field at BC Place. And did he lose it up there? Maybe there was some sun in his eyes or something. Then he turned around, thought it went behind him.
He thought it went over, hit him and went over, yeah. Sadiki's able to scoop it up, and now great field position for the BC Lions with 91 seconds to work. They'll get it to Hollins. Hollins trying to find some room. Tracked on and held down. It was Dequoy once again who sort of held him in place until Sutton could come over and finish him off. Hollins wasn't happy with something at the end of that play. Second and 2 now for the BC Lions, working from the Montreal 45. Straight up, heavy pop at the 40 on Shivers. Looks like he felt that one a little bit, but he bounces back up.
He might
a little wobbly there.
Well, he might get pulled out of the game by the spotter. There's a medical spotter at every game, independent of both teams. So if he sees any distress from a player, they will immediately have to be taken out. And
they are going to take him out.
Yeah, that's a big hit.
There's Wesley Sutton, who came over and got him.
going to go through a complete evaluation there to make sure that passes all the protocol before they put him back on the field.
Heavy blow, no doubt about it. Mackey will slide in there now to the right of Vernon Adams. 1st and 10 from the Alouettes 40 for the BC Lions, looking to extend their lead. And that one is gunned in there just in the right amount of time. Tight window, but Hatcher's able to hang on for his 3rd catch of the ball game.
I'm not surprised that the DBs for Montreal are trying to jump routes and take a shot at Adams, trying to get it in his head that he could have another night like last week in Toronto. Obviously, way past that now with almost a first half under his belt.
2nd and 5, Adams has that 1st down. Sort of nonchalantly fires it over to Lucky Whitehead, and they'll take that down inside the Montreal 25 with 54 on the clock.
Can't have to do a double take. I know Lucky Whitehead's only played a couple of games, but I had to do a double take that he has not had a reception over 30 yards yet.
That's very unlucky Whiteheadish, isn't it? Adams tried to go back to him there. That was behind him. Lucky got his left hand on it, but couldn't haul it in. No targets in this game yet for Rhymes, who has 5 touchdowns on the season. This is his zone right here. This is where you look to the big guy.
There he is, right in the middle of your screen.
He's got 17 touchdowns in 29 games with the Lions.
And leads all receivers in the league with 5 after 4 games. Can he make it 6 here?
2nd and 10. Whitehead will swoop back over. Far side right for Adams. Adams looks right back to Whitehead again. And that'll bring up 3rd and short. It'll be about 3 yards, actually. So looks like they'll bring out Sean White for a field goal attempt. Give themselves a 14-point lead.
Well, that's in some ways that's a win for the Montreal defense to hold BC to just the 3-point attempt after the fumble and the instant field position with lots of time for Vernon Adams to try and go and put a major on the board and kind of really separate before the half. Can build on that stop defensively.
White 10 of 11 on the season. This one from 21 yards, right hash. And he knocks it home. If it was ever in doubt, White takes care of it. Lots to discuss from this football game coming up at halftime with that crew. Shinetti back in the big chair.
I don't know if Coach coached special teams ever in his career, but
he can pretend he did today.
Pretend he did, and I'm sure Davis Sanchez covered some kicks.
He would have played.
Yeah, he would have played some specials.
That's the story, though, right?
Our quarterback, you know, he could have. Our quarterback could have covered kicks. Absolutely.
Special teams definitely emerging here as an intriguing storyline heading into halftime. So make sure you don't go anywhere. I want them to talk about that Simba Cam here earlier on. The Simba Cam in BC, and they hold their children up with the Lion King music. Every time we're here, it happens. I'm like, oh, they're doing the Simba Cam. I want all the teams to do it. Here's Fajardo. 1st and 10 for the Montreal 40. Fajardo, far side. It's got enough. And he gets it to Austin Mack. Mack's 5th catch of the game. He's been targeted 5 times, and he's caught them all.
Well, if he's efficient, he might get into field goal range here. Gonna get up on the line of scrimmage. He's calling the play. Cody Fajardo from the line. Clock starts on the whistled in.
Fajardo, it's Betts again. Flag on the far side of the field as they wrapped him up. Tehema and Betts were both there. I think Betts would have been first.
Offside. BC number 90. 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
I asked Matthew about his get off, and you know, he said I said to him, sometimes it looks like you're almost offside, and the great rush ends will make you feel like that. Like almost every play, they're so quick off the line that you think, was he offside? That was very close.
So 1st and 5 from the BC 51. Fajardo quickly, and that'll be caught and taken down just inside the 45. Heady play from Austin Mack.
Absolutely.
He knew exactly what he had to do.
He knew the time. He knew he was in field goal range. He just had to make the catch and then get to the ground immediately, because as you can see, if he takes even one more second, that's it, and they don't get the chance for the 3. That was heads-up play by Austin Mack.
Cody Fajardo, 13 for 13 for 108 yards in the first half. On the road. 23 yards rushing as well. Now here's Cote, 51-yarder. That is up, and he's got enough. Knocks it through. That's the first 50-yard attempt of the season for Cote. And you can chalk him up to be 1 for 1 from that deep. Big 3 points there for Montreal.
And just a heads-up play by, you know, obviously mature beyond his years, but a 25-year-old rookie to the Canadian Football League in Austin Mack to get down with a second to go. That 3 points may become big as the game goes on.
You like Austin Mack, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
I can tell. I see. We're watching him in person for the first time for us, and we're like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh, he's keeper.
They got something there. Jalen Edwards-Cooper had a touchdown earlier in this half. He's with our far hand, Lulgy.
Jalen, let's start with the performance of the defense. I know that you guys wanted to make.
Run your offense. Involve the run. You got a great, talented tailback in William Stanback. And Fajardo, 100% completion percentage.
Stanback just 12 yards on only 4 carries in the first half. Worthy, who had one bounce off his chest, takes this one cleanly. Chandler Worthy picks his way out just outside the 35. Lots of flags on special teams here. Here's Cody Fajardo coming back out after an excellent first half. 13 for 13, 108. No touchdowns, though, but was moving his feet as well.
Legal block.
Accuracy there, and sometimes with, especially with the pass rush led by Matthew Betts this year, the intermediate and short routes are sometimes all you got. It's all you have time for.
Punched in his 3rd rushing touchdown of the season.
Having said that, I'm sure Matt Dunnigan is sitting in the studio right now going, take a couple of shots. As soon as you do, even if they're incomplete, the DBs start backing up a little bit.
Yeah, if you're going to force them to get back a bit. Julian Grant and Mack, I mean, with guys like that, might not be a bad idea. Now Fajardo's going to be running, trying to set it up. And a pretty good chunk on first down, close to 6 yards.
I'm not sure if that was a missed handoff. The timing was off, and he just took and ran with it, or...
It almost looked by design, though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It almost looked like a design fake, and then quarterback sneak going the other way. He's got a fullback out front, tuck. And it really did look like a design quarterback sweep.
Yeah, QB sweep.
Seen a couple of those this year. Chad Kelly in Toronto has run a couple of quarterback sweeps as well.
4 receivers to the wide side left for Fajardo in a 2nd and 4 situation. Fajardo escapes himself, throws for the first down completion just inside the 40 as he gets it to Courtney Davis for his first CFL catch.
Cody Fajardo needs to get outside here. If he doesn't get outside, this is a sack. He gets on the run on this reverse out, and I think it was Ben Halata gets picked up there by Jeshurun Antwi and just holds on enough to get his quarterback outside.
Montreal moving this ball up to their own 39 here to start the 3rd quarter. Fajardo, that one a little too low. Davis was trying to go back for, and that's the first incompletion of the game for Cody Fajardo, who prior to that had started 14 of 14.
Moget from the linebacker. Remember, he's not the safety in this one. He's playing linebacker for Emmanuel Racumba, who's down for this game tonight, and he came off the edge there, and that forced the low throw.
Second and 10 for Fajardo. Sneed will swoop back over into the slot to the left of his quarterback. flags here. Looks like some receivers had moved early. Fajardo under pressure and taken down by Woody Barron.
Adrian Green is going to declare. He's playing safety.
Offside. Montreal number 81. That penalty be declined. Third down.
Green's playing that safety spot where Moget usually plays. And he comes on the safety blitz here, and he's going to cause the problems for Fajardo. But when Fajardo called that first snap, he revealed the blitz and then tried to get back and fake it again. And then he said, no, well, I am really going to come on the blitz. And that's where he gets in trouble, because he's the first one to flash in front of Fajardo.
Lima stands on his own 11. Punt wobbles down to Williams at the 50. Williams cannot emerge from a pack of Alouettes, and he'll be wrapped up. But excellent field position for that man, Vernon Adams Jr. He'll get the ball for the BC Lions with a lead here in the third quarter. 12 of 17 for 113 yards.
At best. And it turned that first half around for him. He completes 71% of his passes.
Sean Shivers is back in the game. They took him out and had him looked at after taking a heavy hit from Sutton, and he gets 6 yards on this first down carry.
So we were all talking about, of course, everyone was all week long. It doesn't happen very often where a quarterback throws 6 picks. He did in Toronto, came back, and this was series number 1. How is he going to respond? How is it going to start for him in the first couple of series? Well, that was the play that started this game, taken away from Dequoy because of the penalty. And that changed the whole first half for Vernon Adams.
2nd and 4 from the Montreal 45. And he'll pitch it out to his running back. Big burst. Look at him go all the way down inside the 30. A flag at the end of it. Dequoy with the tackle. But what a burst from Sean Shivers. 18 yards if it stands.
There's the burst. There's the burst they wrote down in the scouting report.
He was saying everybody just wants me to pop outside because of my speed, but he likes running. He likes running, between the tackles. But that's a nice look right there.
Well, it looks like the penalty is going to be a holding. But did they get the first down first, and then the holding happened?
4 yards were gained. Holding. BC number 18. 10-yard penalty. Second down repeated.
That'll wipe it off the board.
Well, that's a big decision there. So the holding, and Dequoy was telling him, hey, there's a flag there. Before you celebrate too hard, there's a flag right there, and your guy was holding. But because first yards weren't gained, the holding happened before that. Now you got second plus.
So that one's wiped out. He's in a 2nd and 14 situation. Whitehead in the slot to the right of Vernon Adams. Hatcher out there as well. Adams with time, looking over the middle, drops it in there neatly. First catch of the game for Rhymes is a big one. 25 yards down the middle.
So smooth. Just running this route so smooth, and Vernon Adams just hits him in stride. He's got a guy in his face, and that's accuracy at its best from VA. I mean, big play VA. Watch how smooth Rhymes is on this route. Just like butter, man. He can just slide right through that seam like a hot knife.
Rhymes, Hollins, Hatcher, Whitehead all out to the right here for Vernon Adams. Shivers flares out to the left. Adams is going to run to the left. Now he's going to throw. Touchdown! Dropped it in there for Javon Catoy, and the big fella hauls it in. BC strikes again.
Accuracy from the pocket, accuracy on the run. He's coming out chucking it, and this is on the run, going to his left, getting the shoulders around, and look at the accuracy on the throw.
That's a great throw.
Absolutely. If it's even a half yard short, there's 2 Alouettes ready to take that. He dropped it in there to Catoy.
On the run, kind of across the body. Great touch from Vernon Adams. His first touchdown pass of the day. Sean White for one more, and BC is on top 31-13. Javon Catoy, 4 catches today. This one, his first touchdown of the season. Big game.
Football league, and he's out at wide out running a corner route here. So you got a guy that is the size of a tight end and the speed of a wide receiver. And look how he gets that separation at the top of the route with a couple of big strides. 2 defenders there had a chance, but 2 strides and great accuracy on the throw, and can't defend it.
Well, that'll get your confidence going if you're Vernon Adams as well. Great play like that, ends up in the end zone. And now Montreal's got to put together some offensive drives here before it gets too out of hand. Still a lot of time in this football game, but they are trailing 31-13. Sneed, far side of the field, ran into his man and was taken down just shy of the 30. There's another flag here. If this is against Montreal, it feels like Montreal takes a penalty almost on every single
During the return, illegal block, Montreal number 20, 10-yard penalty, first down.
That's got to be 4 or 5 of those in this football game.
I agree. I agree. And I guarantee you they talked about it. I guarantee Jason Moss talked about it at halftime. Got his special team units together and said, guys, it's killing us in field position. You're on the road. It's hot out there. Now you're asking your offense to drive it 80, 90 yards. Put points on the board. I mean, and you're down now in the football game by a few scores.
What do you think of Stanback? 4 carries for just 12 yards. They haven't even really gone to him.
Well, it gets, as the clock runs down, you get, more into passing mode every time, but still time to get him involved now.
Fajardo to his right, takes the shorter option. It's Mack, and he's got a first down for Montreal. 7th catch of the game for Mack.
But you make a good point, with William Stanback, and I go back and look at the first 3 games for Montreal, and he's averaging below 10 carries per game.
Yeah.
And again, if you were going into the season here, and you said rank the running backs, Oliveira would be up there.
Kadeem
Carey would be up there, but William Stanback may top your list. I mean, that's a subjective list, obviously, but I think when you have a talented player like that, easy to be up here questioning, play calling, but it's a talented player, hasn't touched it much.
Fajardo to his right, looking for some sunlight. Not going to happen. Betts wrapped him up, pushed him out of bounds, and Stanback gets in Betts' face, and a flag flies along the sideline, and I believe that'll be Stanback. Some frustration from the Montreal Alouettes running back.
He didn't like the extra push.
He put a little extra push from Betts after Fajardo was out of bounds.
Betts gave Fajardo a little extra push, and having said that, that doesn't matter, really. You just can't do it, because it's always the retaliation.
The officials with the discussion here.
And then maybe they'll take a look at it and give both of them.
Say both of them get one? You make a case. I mean, both extra pushes were clearly out of the field of play.
Late hit out of bounds, BC number 90. 15-yard misconduct foul. Montreal number 21 will bounce those penalties, and it'll be a first down.
So that'll be 31.
Yeah.
But and basically
Montreal 31.
Yeah, they basically balance out yardage-wise, but one was a misconduct penalty, so Stanback can't get another one, or he's thrown out of the game.
So, as we discussed, Betts and Stanback both penalized. And now it'll be first down from the Montreal 22, or will it? The officials are coming together for another discussion about the placement of this ball, I believe.
Yeah, they want to make sure it was what down it was as well. It's offsetting penalties. The ball's in the right place, and it was first down. Okay, here we go.
Resume play. 8:40 to go in the third. 31-13. BC leading Montreal. Montreal with the ball. The pressure coming this time. Fajardo right up the middle, takes off, and he is taken down by Marcus Sales. But a good chunk, 6 yards, first down there for Fajardo.
Yeah, he got off limping a little bit there.
Felt that one, did he?
Yeah, took a hit in the thigh and trying to walk that off and shake it off. It take off, you know, the block and the pressure up front flushes him up the middle, and watch, where does he get hit? Yeah, right on that thigh.
The right thigh.
A glancing blow, but he got up limping a little bit.
4 more yards is what they need. Fajardo far side, and he's got it. Julian Grant hauls it in, and that should be enough for a Montreal first down.
Well, you know, when you look at the scoreboard now, you're Montreal, you got to get tempo, and they're going to start to call plays up in the line, or at least get in and out of the huddle as quickly as they possibly can. The score and the time on the clock now become as big an enemy as the Lions.
11 targets to Mack and Julian Grant.
He could run the hurry up offense.
just a bit, eh? Now they'll get it to stand back. Tried to go horizontal with it, but couldn't find any space, and he's taken down pretty much at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and if that happens, that doesn't mean you go away from it if you're Anthony Calvillo, because you know you've got a back. If you add up 19 and 21, those big seasons, got hurt in 22, but those big seasons for Stanback, 1,000 yards a season and a 6.1 yard average. So you just can't get talked out of it if you have one of those plays where you got 0.
2nd and 10 for Fajardo, 16 of 17 in this game. 4 receivers out to his left. Fajardo in trouble, trying to escape. He will momentarily, and now he finds a man on the far side. What a move! That's Sneed. He cuts it back in and then gets enough for the first down. His first catch of the game and of his career.
Yeah, a little quicks out there too. Fajardo gets out, he tries to step up and then is flushed outside, but a little move coming back to the ball. He's again, not a huge receiver, kind of a little Weston Dressler type receiver.
Fajardo quickly this time. Ooh, heavy blow as the ball arrives. I don't think that was ever caught. Mack got popped. Couldn't hang on.
Well, there's sort of a time clock going on right now that it's an interesting deal, because we've been talking all game here about the double move possibility with the quickness by which Jalen Edwards-Cooper is closing. If he's going to close that quick all the time, the double move is there. The problem with that is you need a couple of extra seconds in the pocket to do it. Does Fajardo have enough time in the pocket to pump fake that slant or the hitch and try to get in behind Jalen Edwards-Cooper?
Edwards-Cooper was down. They're going to sit him up, and will step aside as they get him off the field. Jalen Edwards-Cooper out of the game. Here's Fajardo, 2nd and 10. Fajardo finally a deep shot down the field. Hauled in, or was it picked off? What a catch. Courtney Davis. How about that?
He goes up and wins the jump ball. Saraman Biagogo is in coverage. He replaces Edwards-Cooper. And why not test him? First play of the game, throw it up, see if your receiver wins the jump ball, and he certainly does.
First game in the career of Courtney Davis. And he hauls that one in. Biagogo He actually played it pretty well, didn't he, Suits?
Well, he's in good position.
Yeah.
He's in good position, but that's his first play. I mean, he's thrown out there because of the injury to Edwards Cooper, and he's going, take a shot, let's go deep. And this has been something that they've not been able to do, Montreal, in this game tonight because of the type of coverage the Lions are playing. But Fajardo thought, let's take a shot at it. Talk to us about his deep ball, and that's his 10th 30-plus play of the season, which coming into this week led all quarterbacks. And you know, he said he worked really hard on it in the offseason, talked about putting a little more air on the ball and letting his receivers adjust on the fly and then try to win these jump balls.
This is a great one-on-one battle to watch, isn't it? Phenomenal stuff. Fajardo now with the Alouettes in business, working from the BC 23. Tosses it out to Sneed in his first game as well. Put on the brakes, cut it back up the field. And again, just over half of what they need on first down.
Well, it's a little too early yet to think that you're going 3-down football. In other words, they don't make the first here. Probably take the field goal still. Got lots of time. Got a quarter to play.
Yeah, you're right.
You got a full quarter to play. You can score. Hey, you can score 3 times in the final 3 minutes.
10th play of this drive, 2nd and 4 for Fajardo. Pressure from the Lions, picks it up, gets it away, gets it to Mack, who drags the man with him all the way down, just shy of the 5, a 12-yard pickup, 8th catch of the game for Austin Mack.
Well, let's take a nice look at the rookie phenom. Inside position here, and he still wins it inside to get inside leverage. Just committing to that slant route and being there right when he needs to be.
Going right back at Bagayogo. And now they'll work 1st and goal from the BC 5. Stand back, no touchdowns this season. Stands in to the left of his quarterback, Cody Fajardo. Fajardo with pressure coming again on the run, throws it towards the end zone and safely out of bounds. Cody Fajardo almost instantly on the run. BC's not messing around with the pressure here, are they, Glenn?
Yeah, no, he got outside and had to just throw this away or take the loss. And let's hope that Moget is okay here. He just
popped up rather quickly.
Yeah, it's all padded down there, so I think he'll be okay.
2nd and goal now for Fajardo. Not as much pressure this time. Fajardo to the end zone. Through the hands of Julian Grant. Might have had a chance at it. Initially, it looked like it was going to be deep. And Montreal's going to trot out the field goal unit for a chip shot.
He's the deep one, the 3-receiver set. Makes a nice move there, but Fajardo to be careful with TJ Lee rolling back to the middle.
So instead, Montreal will settle for 3, make it a 15-point game. And Cote knocks that one through from just 13 yards out. On Julian Grant, last second saw it. Couldn't haul it in. Look out! I think Edmonton did yellow once.
Well, maybe Edmonton. Maybe that wasn't it.
Everybody should do the glasses. They're very cool looking. Now here we are, Vernon Adams gets it away just in time, and Hatcher hauls it in, neatly reaches behind himself and snags that one. He's having himself a nice game as well. That's his 4th catch.
You know, Vernon Adams has seen a little bit of pressure tonight, and he's had to be flushed. He's run a couple of times, but it's a real good defense too. And they get to him just as he throws that one. Layered crossing route for 19 yards for Hatcher. See, and the O-line is doing a pretty good job up front of Vernon Adams. There's long crossers. Yeah.
There's enough time there for those plays to happen. All the way down to the Montreal 51. Adams dumps it off. And that one into Rhymes for a short pickup on first down.
I mentioned off the top that O-line is played together, you know, so that's equally as important as the talent you put up there. So yes, they improved their talent, and they've put in some, you know, Michael Couture was a big one at center.
Big pickup.
Free agency, yeah. And, you know, but as important as the talent is playing together, and they played every single game this season together. Knock on wood, I don't like to see anyone get hurt, but
2nd and 8 for Adams this time. Escapes the pocket flag as he takes off. Adams down to the 40, slides there. It would be a first down, but
just as I say that, just as I say that.
Nice going, Glenn.
Yeah, defensive coordinator Noel Thorpe wants to say, oh yeah, okay, well
Holding. BC number 54, 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
The O-line's doing all that great stuff. Okay, well, let's send a little pressure and see how they handle that. And this time it's going to be Andrew Pearson that's going to get the penalty. But load up the line. There's 6 rushing. Couture leaves. There's a tailback, so not a full blitz. But they do flush Adams out, and the holding call will take it back the yardage in the game.
Well, Thorpe, big part. Jason Moss staff. 2nd and 18 now. What does Vernon Adams have up his sleeve with an empty backfield? 4-man rush. Adams out to his right. Now he's going to look down the field. Another flag. He's got a completion to Hatcher. Look at Hatcher turning those legs inside the 30, but is this another hold on the Lions?
Holding. BC number 65. 10-yard penalty. Repeat 2nd down.
Wow, you really jinxed him.
I don't think he agrees. Over there at right guard. And let's take a look.
Ooh.
You just can't get your arms outside of the frame.
Just
outside of outside of the. It wasn't all that big a deal. Like he pulled him down and got him out of there, but for a split second, his arms were wrapped around the shoulders on the outside of the shoulder pads, and that's what the officials see.
So your typical 2nd and 28 situation now for BC, backed up to their own 41. 3 to the left, 3 to the right. Try to set up some sort of screen for Hatcher, but that one will be sniffed out immediately. And Shivers getting into it a little bit with Beverette at the end of that play. He's not afraid to make a name for himself, is he? So 3rd down and a long way to go.
Is Beverett telling him how short he is? Is that what he's?
Do you think that's the first time Shivers has heard that in his life?
And don't think it won't motivate him either.
Flintoff. 4 flags before this thing was even kicked. Worthy will take it just inside the 14. And Worthy wrapped up before he could get to the Montreal 40. Too many players on the Montreal Alouettes. The reason for the early flags.
But because of the 2 holding calls.
Too many players, Montreal. 10-yard penalty, repeat 3rd down.
It's a repeat 3rd down, not an automatic 1st down. It's not a major penalty, so it's not automatic. And secondly, there's not enough.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
They were more than 10 yards away, so we'll have to kick it again.
We'll reset that when we return for 4th quarter action here in Vancouver, where the BC Lions right now leading the Montreal Alouettes 31-16, looking for their 2nd home win of the season. Left in this football game for the Montreal Alouettes.
There is. It's a 2-possession game. That's why they took the field goal when they were down inside the 20. Smart move by Jason Moss. Now they're into 2 possessions. We've got a whole quarter to play, and in Canadian football, as you know, that kind of lead is definitely not safe. Interesting 3rd quarter. Too many penalties in the third quarter. I think both these teams have got to straighten that up, clean that up, and we should have a good finisher.
Yeah. Vernon Adams, excellent bounce back game for him so far, and Montreal's defense will have to make a play here at some point. They're going to re-kick this. Flintoff stands on his own 46. Worthy just inside his own 5 on the 3rd and 9 play to start the 4th quarter. And this one is directed. Oh, wow.
Wow.
They're going to give him the single.
Oh, they will. Okay.
Cody Fajardo fitting in well in Montreal. For more on that man, let's send it down to Farhan Lalji.
Yeah, absolutely. And we finally saw Cody take a deep shot on that last series. And that's something he talked about. He heard so much about how he couldn't throw deep effectively in his time in Saskatchewan. So that was a thing for him this offseason. And for his part, head coach Jason Moss has said he believes Cody's biggest area of improvement has been climbing up in the middle of the pocket and throwing it deep accurately as opposed to bailing to the outside where his shoulders are turned to the sideline. With that, he really believes, Fajardo does, that this is the first time an offense has ever been built around him. And when he talked to Moss at the end of the season in Saskatchewan, Moss said to him, if we get a chance to work together again at any point, we're going to do some things differently. You're seeing more RPOs, more quarterback runs. And he also says that he's got a lot of loyalty to Jason because he feels that he was the only person in Saskatchewan that had his back when the season ended.
Quite a statement there.
Well, it's, you know, that was a strong narrative in Saskatchewan in that tough season they went through, and there was this whole discussion that they just didn't get along, and Cody basically said to us that this was not true. It wasn't true at all. They were great in the room. They worked together, and he was real excited to sign with the Jason Moss run team.
Yeah, if there was any issue, he wouldn't be here.
No, exactly.
Right now. 2nd and 10. A miss on that last pass to Tuck. Fajardo out to the right. Now he's going to be tracked down again by the Lions. Tehama was there to start it. Betts came in and finished it off.
I don't know who gets credit for it, but Tehama was there first, I believe.
Looked like it.
That's at the top of your screen, Tehama down at the bottom here, but Cody Fajardo, as Farhan just mentioned, he steps up for a second, then he gets flushed, tries to reverse his field, and there they are. Discipline from the backside. Little rush end meeting at the quarterback.
Fajardo's now been sacked 20 times this season. Famous kick. Spiraling nicely down just inside the 30. Taken cleanly by Williams. Back to the 40. And no further for Terry Williams.
Part of me is still sitting with you in the back corner booth on a different night. Baby, I'm in trouble. Steady missing you, I'm getting through another double.
Vernon Adams, 17 of 22, 198, and a touchdown. His team now up 16 on Montreal, and a chance to maybe put together a big long drive to help seal this thing away. The Blue Bombers on Friday, I did that game with Matt. They had like a 10-minute drive in the 4th quarter. It was just ridiculous. BC would take something like that right here.
Wait a minute, you aren't used to Zach Collaros putting together a 10-play drive?
It was very.
That didn't surprise you, did it?
Very Winnipegish.
Yeah.
10 minutes. 10-minute drive in the 4th quarter. They'll hand this off. Good burst to the outside by Shivers. And that'll be a first down for the rookie.
Yeah, I like his speed. I like his burst. And we've seen him in a couple of situations in pass protection, and he's done a good job there. It's not about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog.
Really seems to be enjoying himself here. Had a touchdown earlier. Had Mazzell to start the year. He's been a nice find as well, and now he's banged up. So Shivers gets an opportunity, and Adams will pitch this one out to him. A couple more yards on first down for him this time.
Taquan Mizell is the player that Shivers is replacing in this game. If you're just joining us now, he was down for this one. And after the bye the Lions have, they expect Mizell back, and he was off to a great start. That was second coming in this week and rushing in the CFL, and Oliveira in Winnipeg first.
Well, it's good to know that you have a little bit of depth now. You've got to look at Shivers and mix him in here and there.
Haven't seen him catch the ball out of the backfield.
There's Adams trying to get away, and he's taken down just outside his own 20. Armando Sewell,
he's slow there. He's very slow to get up. That one hurt Vernon Adams. He was trying to still throw it as he was being pulled down by, I believe it was Sewell.
Yep.
Yeah, he beats his guy inside, and watch him try to throw it there, and then the splits.
Reach down to his right hip at the end of the play. 3rd and 18 is the situation they face.
Have to keep an eye on that.
Really good field position lurking here for the Montreal Alouettes. Flintoff. Oh, just gets it away. Dequoy almost blocked that. Worthy takes it. Far side of the field, trying to find some space. Another flag. If that's Mayala, that's his 3rd flag on special teams in this game. This one was almost blocked. Look at Flintoff. Hurry up. Dequoy almost had it.
I think he's over here for Edwards Cooper down here. Up at the top, Gary Peters still in his normal position.
Looks like they moved Mosier back to safety.
Yes.
Fajardo, quick one to Sneed, and taken down immediately. TJ Lee would have none of it.
Good tacklers. This defense, good tacklers in the back end, and they really help in run support. This is basically an extended run. Little throw to the outside, and Ryan Phillips' group do a nice job in the fundamentals of tackling. We've seen Edwards Cooper with a couple. Now he hasn't returned, and you're right. Mosier back at safety, and Josh Woods now playing linebacker.
Second and 12 for Fajardo. Down 16. Gets this one away. Almost intercepted. Marcus Sales was thinking touchdown, but he couldn't haul it in.
Yeah, he was. It came from the inside out. It looked like this was sort of predetermined by Cody Fajardo, because that's over on that side was where Adrian Green was lined up. And remember how he tested the new corner when he stepped in for Edwards Cooper? Now Green's playing out of position. He was the safety to start the game. He was on the outside and high. He didn't see Marcus Sales coming from inside out.
Great year last year for Marcus Sales. This kick, a good one. Williams takes it just outside the 30 after a 50-yard boot, slips and stumbles, and is immediately wrapped up after a short return. And the BC Lions offense, another chance to seal this thing away because of plays like that from their defense. Done a lot of different things coming to a football game. Adams has a completion. That's Hollins who hauls it in for a first down at midfield, his first catch of the game.
You know, and the timing a little off tonight, I think, with Lucky. He'd probably be the first to admit that. But even having said that, I mean, he's got 5 catches. And when he's out there, I mentioned off the top in his 2 games, he hadn't had a 30 down the field, a 30 plus. That was a 12-yarder. And, you know, for Hollins, but when you play against Lucky Whitehead or guys like that, you got to give him room. You've got to back up a little bit, because the threat of him going deep is always there.
That guy can't sneak behind you, is what you're saying. Shivers, he finds some space. Shivers down to the 35, and Dequoy is there to greet him again. But Sean Shivers with another big one.
He is having fun, isn't he? Hey, you got the lead. You know you're going to get the ball as the tailback because they want to grind down the clock. And how about a couple of quick moves?
$18 yards, his longest run of the game. He'll stand in there to the right of his quarterback. If you're just joining us, that's Sean Shivers making his CFL debut today. Scored a touchdown in the first quarter. They'll go back to him again. And really no hole that time, even for a little guy to sneak through. Looks like he might have lost a yard on the play.
Pretty nice situation when you think we just talked about Lucky Whitehead returning to the lineup and Keon Hatcher last week returning to the lineup. By the way, he had 100 yards in his first game back, over 100 yards. And Dominic Rhymes, and all playing together for the first time since the very beginning of camp. So and then you add a Javon Katoy, who's had a big game tonight. Alexander Hollins. We have 3 of the top 5 receivers in the league coming into this week in this game, including Austin Mack.
Now Adams goes to Hatcher. Great tackle by Sutton. Wrap those feet up immediately after a pickup of 5 yards. And that'll bring up 3rd down, and they'll trot Sean White out here for 3 more.
It's a big 3, though. Takes it from 2 possessions to 3. Always think about in possessions, not the score. How many times do I need the ball to come back?
Yeah. They would now need it 3 times if White knocks this 37-yard field goal attempt through. Just inside the left hash here. Flintoff to hold. And White, no problem, knocks that right through the uprights. And BC leading 35-16 on a picture-perfect Sunday evening in Vancouver. Here's Fajardo, low snap, gets it near side. That was fumbled, fell incomplete, I should say, as he was looking for Courtney Davis again, who made a spectacular catch earlier in the half.
He's been over there against Gary Peters, and Gary doesn't give up much.
That's not easy in your first game, is it?
Exactly. That's one of the first times we've seen Peters make a play, and that's because Cody Fajardo has avoided going in that direction. But again, the double move timing, they close so quickly.
The roll, Austin Mack out there against Peters. Peters will backpedal a little bit this time. Fajardo steps up. Now he's going to take off, but that closes down quickly. Lacombo was there. Peters was coming to help as well, and Fajardo really never had a lane develop. Gets stopped after a pickup of 5, and that'll bring up 3rd down here. And Fajardo is running back to the huddle, so it looks like Montreal is just over 5 minutes left. They got to keep this offense on the field.
Down the short side of the field here is Austin Mack. Working on Peters.
BC plays crowd, trying to get behind their D. They're bringing everybody. Fajardo down the field. Julian Grant's got it. Tackled at the 30. Good read by Fajardo, and Grant sneaks in behind Marcus Sales, and the Alouettes stay alive with 35.
Blitz coming. There's 2 choices, the hot route, or maybe you can get down the middle. If the safety is not in the middle, you go straight for that vacated area. That's what Julian Grant does. Gets blind turn from Sales.
Fajardo this time dumps it off. Stand back. Got a hand on it. Luckily, he didn't pop it up any further. The Lions might have snuck underneath that one.
It's a great play by Matthew Betts, and this won't go in the stats as a sack, but it goes in as just tremendous football awareness, because he's going to come off the edge, and then when he does, he reacts to stand back. Watch stand back on this play. He's going to be like a dump pass, but Betts sees him, he reads it, and he gets and causes all kinds of problems. Drops off of his pass rush to get there.
2nd and 10 now for Fajardo. Down the sideline to nobody. Grant and Mack were both kind of over on that side of the field, and that'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Fajardo, I think on the follow-through, hit his hand. Get it to 2 possessions.
I guess that's what they're going to do here. Yeah, they'll take the field goal.
I think he's going to watch the follow-through in the right hand, and I think he hits his own offensive lineman's helmet.
Cote, with less than 4 minutes of play, will come out and once again try to make it a 16-point game from 37 yards. And that's money. He knocks it home straight down the middle. And once again, a 2-possession football game. Would have to execute a couple of 2-pointers in there. 19 points tonight for the Montreal Alouettes. Came into this game averaging 20 points per game, which is good for 6th in the league. So right about their regular offensive output. It's the other side of the ball. They've been so good defensively, had not allowed more than 17. We're averaging 13.7 points against per game, and they've given up 35 here tonight.
Which became first coming in after that Toronto game for the BC defense. And there was some penalties that took some big chunks of yards off the board for this BC offense as well. Some holding calls.
First and 10 for Adams. They give it to Shivers. Broke 1 tackle and slid under a couple more to get back to the line of scrimmage and have this clock
timeout
working in their favor.
Montreal, timer, please reset the clock to 3:14.
Montreal thinks otherwise and calls a timeout.
Yeah, good idea. Do it just before the 3-minute warning. Jason Moss has come a long way since his last opportunity coaching, head coaching. He's coached in the league for a long, long time. Of course, was a star quarterback in the league as well, but he just very different demeanor now. I've watched him from afar and now watching him in person, looking at the next play ahead, looking at the play chart. He was quite fiery.
Are you going to say he's a little more composed?
Well,
is that what you're saying?
Listen, he's not going to change who he is, and he told us that this week. But he said he's learned and evolved.
Here's Adams. Gets it back to Shivers again. Finds a block, and now he's got a first down. Shivers still going inside the 40, down to the 30. Sean Shivers down to the 5, fumbles the ball. DeCroix picks it up, and now he's going to bring it out of the end zone the other way. Can you believe that just happened? 68-yard and a fumble for Shivers, that close to his 2nd touchdown of the game. Holy smokes.
Oh, man. We got to take a break. Let's just take a break.
Everybody pause.
Everybody pause. Let's figure it out.
What a burst from Shivers. Great play to come back by Deontay Ruffin to give Montreal slight hope.
Didn't quit.
Fajardo now in his end zone. Gets it away down the field. Drops. Julian Grant, a good look at it. Moget was there. May want that one back.
Real quick, one more time for Deontay Ruffin, who essentially this was catchable. You can't throw it any better.
Yeah.
So that's just a drop by Julian Grant. Haven't seen much of that at all. But that second effort right there, that kept hope alive for Montreal. There's still 2 possessions. There's still 3 minutes, and Vernon Adams went, what?
I think everybody went, what?
Don't quit.
2nd and 10 now, Fajardo. Uh-oh, he's in trouble. Has to throw it in the area of Tuck. But that'll bring up 3rd down with 2.5 minutes on the clock.
It ended up looking like a really good punt by the BC Lions by the end of the whole play, because DeCroix picked it up and didn't get much on the return. So
a less lesson learned for Shivers, who's had a wild and crazy first game in the CFL. Scores a touchdown, almost had another one, was taken out of the game to get looked at for a concussion when he got popped earlier in the contest. Now he watches as his defense looks to seal it away. 3rd and 10, crowd at BC Place. Some of them coming to their feet. Fajardo, a ton of room, out to his left. Where's he gonna go? Still going, Cody Fajardo gets the first down. What an effort by number 7 in white.
Well, the Lions went with a stunt. They went with a stunt up front and brought Matthew Betts inside. Watch number 90 go inside. He got caught up in the mix there, in the mesh, and he gets outside now. That's when Fajardo can be dangerous, and yeah, he keeps, again, hope's alive. It's a long hill to climb, a big hill and a steep hill to climb, but Fajardo keeps it alive with this run.
Had to take that first step to keep this thing alive. 17 yards. Desperation for Fajardo. Gives himself a fresh set at the Montreal 19. Now another deep shot, far side, looking for Mack! Pulls it in! Oh! Falls incomplete! Looks like he lost it when he went down. Working there against Bagayogo. That was close.
Well, Bagayogo was in the same position as he was on that other deep ball, but this time he makes the play. This time he keeps fighting with Mack all the way to the ground, and there's going to be a challenge, I believe, from Jason Moss. Why not try it? See if he was down by contact before the ball came out, or did he have possession?
I think they might have been looking at
Montreal is challenging that there was defensive pass interference on the play. We'll review the play.
holding down Mack's right arm just a bit before that ball arrived. The one look at it.
And that looked like a simultaneous catch as well. And Mack's knee touching the ground. Simultaneous catch, of course, goes to the offense.
We'll get a few looks at this for you at home.
Bagayogo's in good position here. Looked like almost a simultaneous catch. His toe touches. Now you have to survive contact with the turf. But his knee touched and then his other foot touched.
I think this is the look. Watch his hook right there.
Now they're looking at, yeah, he's holding that right. Well, he got the hand up.
It looked like on the way to where they eventually met, he kind of pulled his right arm down, but then they both went up for it, right? So I really wish one of them would have held on to that. It would have been spectacular. That's got to be what they're looking at there, Glenn. Hey, that left hand on the right bicep.
Absolutely, and that's what Jason Moss is challenging right now. He's challenging that there was pass interference because the ball, he was the target, so the ball being thrown to Mack turns it from illegal contact to pass interference, if they think that was enough. Some hand fighting is allowed as long as it doesn't reroute the receiver or pull them towards, because sometimes you'll see the receivers give a little push. There was no push from Mack there at all. But when the ball arrived, he got both hands up to it. So was it enough?
I think it's a good challenge. I mean, at this stage of the game, you might as well challenge it. But
well, Bagayogo's looking at it too, saying, you know, I know I grabbed his arm, but it was brief. We showed you in slow motion. Max saying, you know, because the other thing a receiver will tell you is that when you hold the arm, even if it's not when the ball's arriving, it takes him out of his stride.
Yeah. All right, let's get the ruling down on the field. It's a big one.
After review by the command center, we have defensive pass interference. BC number 21. Ball will be placed at the 52-yard line. Automatic first down.
Big time swing all the way up to the 52. Bagayogo, the guilty party.
Well, and the fans are booing here because, you know, I think they said some hand fighting is alive. They're on the outside. This is regular speed. That's how quickly it happened. So when we slowed it down, yes, there was a grab. I'm not saying one way or the other. They've ruled that it's going to be pass interference, and again, keeps the hope alive for Montreal, but the home team didn't like it. The home team fans didn't like it. Surprise.
I was going to say.
Surprise, surprise.
As expected.
Yeah.
First and 10 now from the BC 52. Fajardo near side for Mack. And Mack had not come out of the break early enough, but they were going right back at Bagioga again, who we should once again just quickly reset. Jalen Edwards-Cooper out of this game. And they've been going after 21 here since.
Yeah, why not? I mean, now he's going to back up because he's had 2 plays down the field. One a catch by Davis and one that pass interference on deep balls. So he's given Mack a little bit more room. Now they're putting William Stanback out there and then change motion. Here comes Davis.
Second and 10 for Fajardo. Over the middle, has a man. It's Sneed. Sneed will take it down inside the 30. Trying to find some space to the outside. Sneed pushed out of bounds. Just inside the 10. A touchdown saver from the Lions Lacombo.
I got to hustle to the line. That's a big first down. It's a trailer. He's in the waggle in behind, and he's going to just run that deep post. Two receivers real close, and that caused hesitation from the DBs. Got to hustle now. Time's important. He went out of bounds, so it stops clock till the snap.
First and goal from the BC 8 here for Fajardo. Fullback tuck out there to his right. Fajardo looking to the end zone for Grant through his hands. Incomplete at the back of the end zone.
See, you think back now to the arm bar on Mack and what Grant just did on that play. You're going to see Grant, he's going to push off a little bit, try and get separation on TJ Lee. See that little push? And that's why they let that go sometimes. A push from a receiver, a little grab from the DB.
I wonder if that little push threw him off enough that he was about a football away from that, catching that thing, right? Just that one little hesitant, just threw off his own stride a little bit. Matthew Betts, we've been told, is down on the field. There's Betts. Trying to stretch him out a little bit here.
It's a little warm under the dome here tonight.
It is warm, isn't it? We've done a lot of games here. This is the first one, and it's not super hot out, but it's warm in the dome.
Kids don't care.
No.
And we just spotted our camera crew. Very pretty special guest out there in the crowd, Nathan Rourke, watching on.
You would have got familiar with Nathan Rourke's parents last year. We showed them all the time, but Rourke there with his family watching his old teammates. Outstanding year last year. Obviously had to go through an unfortunate injury situation, but trying his hand south of the border with Jacksonville. Good to see the Rourke family back out here at the game. Betts is up and walking off. A bit of a stiff leg there. Two more sacks today for Betts. He's got 9 on the season. And you hope for his sake that his great season here doesn't get derailed even for a moment due to injury.
The way they were working on it looked like, to me, like a cramp, but I only play a doctor on TV, so I'm not.
Second and goal here, and they won't have to worry about Betts coming after Cody Fajardo, but the rest of that BC Lions D-line will look to cause some issues. Less than 2 minutes to go. Montreal down 16. Got to get one here. Fajardo rolling out to his right towards the end zone, and that one up for grabs. Falls incomplete. Was looking for Courtney Davis. TJ Lee went heavily into the stands there, slippery down in the corner on that cement.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of players now getting run right out of bounds. I mean, there's about 2 yards, 3 yards outside of the white stripe, but TJ Lee comes from the left of your screen. He's flying over there, knocked us down. Then he hits that move. Ugh. Yikes. You hit the pavement there and you got those cleats on.
Empty backfield. Now some blocking help for Fajardo. Third down. No room for error. Throws it short to Stanback. And Stanback hauls it in. But that'll be a turnover on downs. as Fajardo throws it well short of the end zone on third down.
Yeah, you can see his reaction. He just, Jason Maas is going to talk to him about that. I mean, that's a decision. Stand back is right here, and it had to be either pressure breaking down, or you got to take a shot at the end zone there, or at least to the first down sticks, because could they have got the first down? No, they couldn't. So you had to take a shot to the end zone.
Josh Woods took care of business.
Because unless you get that to stand back where he can turn and make Josh Woods miss.
Yeah, Stanback had no chance on that one.
He had no chance, yeah.
So Vernon Adams with 1:44 on the clock. Back in here with Sean Shivers in behind him. They'll give it to Shivers again. Shivers trying to find some room. That's DeQuoy, who's been all over the place. Runs him down.
But again, rookie in his first game, Shivers.
Montreal.
Yes, that fumble, he didn't secure the ball when he crossed the goal line, but see what he did there? He went down before he ran out of bounds. Now that forces Jason Maas right now to take the timeout.
DeQuoy, 5th tackle of the game, I believe, for him. Had that pick 6 early in the game. That was called back, and I don't know if it would have led to a different result, but it certainly changed the vibe of the game early.
Yeah, and football awareness there. BC got over the ball right after that pick 6 and called another play and executed it quickly.
Shivers again. Cuts it back for a couple more hard yards up to about the 15, and BC will kick it away one more time.
Been watching Jason Maas just pace up and down the field, shaking his head, still thinking about that throw to William Stanback and that decision. And, you know, I mean, pocket's starting to collapse. It's easy to say it from up here, but coverage was pretty good in the end zone. You don't want to throw a pick either, but at the same time on third down 2 scores.
Yeah, it really becomes a nothing play, right?
Exactly.
Maybe Chandler Worthy's got some tricks up his sleeve. He stands at midfield, end over end kick here from Flintoff. It's going to bounce. Worthy takes it just inside the 50. Worthy trying to find some space on the far side of the field. He's got something cooking down to the 40. Worthy trying to get around Flintoff, stays on his feet. Chandler Worthy down the sideline and steps out of bounds. There's a flag at the 40 on the near side of the field that came out as that ball was rolling. Now another flag is thrown, as I think the Alouettes have something to say.
Yeah, Montreal fans right now, I'm sure, are going, shocker. There's another flag on a kick return.
I was looking.
During the return, holding Montreal number 28. After the play, objectionable conduct, 10 yards, Montreal number 68.
Montreal has had 9 penalties in this football game, and I would guess 7 of them are on returns.
Well, and I bet those 9 penalties took well over 100 yards of production off the table. Like it basically took it back.
A couple of big returns from Worthy have been called
Absolutely,
back.
A 40-yarder, a 37-yarder, that one. I mean, that will get you beat quickly.
So Fajardo starts on his own 42 with just 55 seconds left. They'll hand it off here. The Stanback, who has not touched the ball much at all in this football game. That's just his 6th carry of the game, which is somewhat surprising.
A little bit of a limp from Mr. Stanback.
Fajardo's thrown for 280 yards. Looking for some more here. Far side over the head of the intended target, Courtney Davis. Davis, 50 yards in his CFL debut.
BC bounced back from a game in Toronto where Vernon Adams threw for 6 interceptions. Also, by the way, threw for well over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. on top of the 6 interceptions. You don't often see see a stat line where a quarterback throws for almost 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. Oh, and by the way, there was 6 picks, 1 for a touchdown.
Fajardo under pressure, taken down one more time. Vernon Adams, 20 of 25 for 283 and a touchdown in a tidy bounce back game, we would say.
Yeah, absolutely. After he got past that first kind of the pick 6 that was called back just changed the whole thing. I mean, that's Vernon Adams. Who knows what happens if that was a pick 6 and they were down 7-0 after the Toronto game, and in his mind, and now Montreal will drop to 2-2. And winning on the West Coast for Montreal continues to be a challenge.
It's at 9 wins since the early 60s.
Absolutely, yeah. And the last one, 2015, they're now 31-9-1 since 1961.
My mom wasn't even born in 1961. That's going back a long, long ways as Vernon Adams steps up here, and they'll go to 4-1 as we mentioned. And for the BC Lions, they head into a bye before a Week 7 game at home here against the Riders, which could be a really big game.
Yeah, and here's the thing about Vernon Adams. First, you love the way he handled it after the Toronto game with the media and standing up and saying it was him, and he took full accountability. Came back, and after he threw the pick 6 that was taken back because of the penalty, he just kept slinging it.
Yeah.
And so good for him. He's overcome some adversity and led his team to another win.
Montreal Alouettes, who started the year 2-0, now losses to 2 very good teams in the West in Winnipeg and BC. For them, they will be at home on Friday against the Toronto Argos. Final takeaway on this one, Suits. What do you think? Pretty nice night for BC.
Another couple of sacks for Matthew Betts. BC Lions with a big win at home.